Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Music News at Noon, where we look at today's headlines, tech, and what's going on in the music industry. We'll be starting the program in just a moment. Keep in mind, you can invite your friends to join the show, and if you'd like to offer your thoughts on any of today's topics, you can request to come to the stage and participate in the discussion. You can find all of today's headlines from our website, musicindustrycity.com. Head to the latest Music News at Noon post to see all the articles covered during the show and sign up for free to unlock full access to all the content for the music business. You can also watch us live on video stream right from the website or on the Music Industry City YouTube channel. Is everybody ready? We're beginning our countdown shortly.
That's right. If you want to follow along with the headlines that we are covering today during the show, go to musicindustrycity.com and you'll see the Music News at Noon with today's date. So that blog post will have all the headlines so you can follow along at home or wherever you are. We're going to get started just in a moment. We're going to go into our countdown. And again, musicindustrycity.com is where you can find all the articles. Let's do this. From New York, it's the Music News at Noon on the Music Industry City Broadcast Network. I'm Peter Schwing, and please join me in welcoming our UK correspondent, Angela Randall. Angela, how you doing?
Hello, Peter. Good to be back. Happy Monday, all.
Happy Monday. Eli should be joining us shortly as co-host. I know she has some important meetings going on, and that's how things work here. So in today's news, SVOG deadline approaches. Live Nation changes course on vaccine requirements. A Dogecoin Music Festival. Yes, it's happening. CMA proposes new regulations on secondary ticket marketing. Finally, a dating app based on your musical taste. And as always, well, not as always. I was just going to read into our Spotify spot. We don't have a Spotify spot today. This is like the third time in like 5 months. So we don't have a big Spotify spot, but we do have more stories coming up. And let's take a look at today's This Day in Music History. Normally we'd throw it to Eli, but Angela, you are taking the reins today. Angela, take it away.
Thank you, Peter. On Friday, we learned that American folk and country singer-songwriter Nanci Griffith has died. She was 68. No cause of death has yet been given, according to her management company, saying in its brief announcement, quote, "It was Nanci's wish that no further formal statement or press release happen for a week following her passing," end quote. In memory. On this day in 1977, Elvis Presley was found dead lying on the floor in his bathroom by his girlfriend, Ginger Alden. He had been seated on the toilet reading The Scientific Search for Jesus. He died of heart failure at the age of 42. In memory. Today, on this day in the year 2000, Alan Caddy, guitarist with the Tornadoes, died. He had the 1962 #1 single Telstar, which became the first major hit from a UK act on the American chart. In memory. And on this day in 2018, American singer and songwriter Aretha Franklin died in Detroit at the age of 76. Known as the Queen of Soul and one of the best-selling musical artists of all time, having sold more than 75 million records worldwide, was diagnosed with cancer in 2010. Birthdays born on this day, August the 16th, 1957, Tim Ferriss, guitarist from Australian rock band INXS. On this day in 1958, Madonna, also known as Madonna Louise Veronica Ciccone, in 1984, she had her first hit with Holiday. She had 10 US #1 singles and over 30 other top 40 hits. Happy birthday. On this day in 1964, born Matt Lukin, bassist with American alternative rock band Mudhoney. On this day in 1972, born Emily Robinson, singer-songwriter with the Dixie Chicks. Born on this day in 1980, Bob Hardy, bassist with Franz Ferdinand. Also born on this day in 1980, Vanessa Carlton, famous for her song 1000 Miles. That's it for this day in history, birthdays, and in memory. Back to you, Peter.
All right, thanks for that. All right, this is where we set the stage for a roundtable discussion. We bring summaries and commentary on the latest headlines. If you'd like to offer your thoughts on one of today's topics, just request to join the stage. I'd also like to say hi to everyone viewing our show on the video live stream over on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and directly from the Music Industry City website. To stay up to date on this and other programming, you can sign up at musicindustrycity.com for more news, articles, and events. Now let's get to it. All right, and this first piece is from Billboard.com. To access all the articles mentioned in today's show and throughout the week, visit musicindustrycity.com and view today's Music News at Noon post. And that's where you find all the articles that we are referring to. All right. Shuttered Indie Venue Grant deadline approaches. All right. For independent live entertainment firms, they have until August 20 to apply or reapply for federal aid through the $16 billion Shuttered Venue Operators Grant Program. And despite the fact that over 15,000 applications have been submitted and millions distributed, eligible applicants continue to pour in with less than a week remaining. As of Monday, almost 68% of the nearly 16,000 applicants have secured funding totaling $8.4 billion. However, over 3,200 businesses have had their applications denied, accounting for nearly 1/4 of all SBA decisions. The SBA will begin calling applicants to close any backlog appeals. Yes, they will be calling on the phone. After August 20th, the SBA will reopen its grant supplementary funding awards, for which businesses will not need to reapply, awarding grants equal to up to half of the amount awarded in the first round. So for anybody that is out there, and I know we like to ignore robocalls or numbers we don't know, but this might be that time where you might want to answer some of those numbers that you don't recognize, because you never know. It could be the SBA. All right. Hopefully this really gets cleared up and, these venues can get what they need. All right. This one's about Live Nation. Let's talk about what's going on. After last week's announcements, Live Nation, Michael Rapinoe's statement with saying artists could have control over saying whether they're going to require the venues to have vaccine requirements in place. They've changed course and now will require vaccine or negative tests at all venues and festivals. Live Nation declared earlier this week that they would leave it up to the artists to determine whether requests require confirmation of a COVID vaccine or a negative test before entering their events. Now, the promoter is saying in a press release that immunizations or negative tests would henceforth be needed at all Live Nation venues and festivals where permitted by state law for attendees, performers, and their crew. And according to Michael Rapinoe, the CEO of Live Nation, quote, vaccines are going to be your ticket back to shows. And as of October 4th, we will be following the model we developed for Lollapalooza and requiring this for artists, fans, and employees at Live Nation venues and festivals everywhere possible in the U.S. The new policy follows AEG's announcement earlier this week that proof of vaccination will be required for admittance into all of their venues and festivals, with no option for individuals who are unvaccinated to present a negative test. In Nashville, numerous locally owned venues are banding together to implement a vaccine or negative test requirements for entry. It's basically get shot or don't come knocking.
Yeah, we've got similar processes in place for a lot of venues over here as well. And so far, there's only been relatively minor pushback. It appears to be that there's a few marches that have taken place over the last 2 weekends, and they're very clear to say that they're not anti-vax. They're just anti-vax passport, which I'm still waiting for someone to clarify that to me, but there you have it.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's so many memes, there's so much misinformation, there's so much sensationalization is based on people saying our rights are being infringed on. Well, yeah, it's well, how much government control in times of pandemic? I mean, how much is too much overreach? And I keep going back to this one that has been circulating around this. It was a screenshot of somebody that this woman works in the industry. She's worked in the live music sector nearly all her life, and she says, "Hey, we put these shows on. The crew is doing their best to stay protected. We're wearing a mask." And she was saying she was yelled at 10 times for wearing a mask. People coming up to her, people that were attending the show, that were enjoying the concert that they're producing, saying, "Hey, take that mask off, freedom and all that stuff. And you don't need to wear that mask." And she's just basically saying, "I'm wearing this mask so you can enjoy this show. I'm doing this. Our crew is wearing masks. Our crew are taking safety precautions so you can come out of your house and enjoy this show." So because if one person on the crew in the band, one person catches COVID, everything is shut down. So they're being safe for you. All right. With that being said, I'm sure you'll probably see that. It'll be floating around a little bit more. All right, so let's talk about some NFTs really quick. This is just one. If anybody's in New York City, I'm going to ask you to be on the lookout for this one. It's called Envoy Network raises $2.5 million and debuts an NFT-powered billboard. And this is from Music Ally. And they've also had several music industry consultants, which includes the former Spotify director of dance, Austin Kramer, Dutch DJ and producer Martin Floor of the Bassjackers, and Perry Van de Mosler, the CEO of label Smash. So the label Smash the House. So the company will not only create NFTs based on music and musicians, but also venture into the areas of music, movies, comics, and other forms of media and entertainment. And among the first releases of NFTs made will be by creatives who have previously worked on brands such as Marvel, Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and more. However, music will also play an important role. And Musler says, through Smash the House, we will now provide everyday new dance artists that we sign with a new type of contract in which the release of Envoy NFTs is included, and we will offer them the tools to help them do this. So two things here. One is now we're going to start seeing these contracts with NFTs. All the lawyers are going to have a field day with this one and, keep them employed. And the second is that this is what I want people to report back on is they're putting up this thing called a decentral board, which is an NFT powered billboard in Times Square in New York, which will go live on August 21st. So if anybody is in Times Square around August 21st next week, can you take a picture and just send it over to us, DM it? Because I want to see what an NFT decentral board looks like.
I'm sure it looks like a regular billboard, but there'll be blockchain ownership for every second that's being broadcast. I mean, that would be my guess. It just sounds, oh, I can't wait to see these contracts. I hope somebody white labels them and sends them around everywhere. So, or white papers them, I should say, and sends them around everywhere so that we can all have a gander and sort of marvel at what they've managed to come up with, because it's going to be a collector's piece, to say the least, the contract anyway.
Yeah, that you can make a contract. You can make an NFT of the contract.
Now that's $1 million idea.
There you go. All right. This one is from Variety. Executive Leadership Council launches Spotify sponsors Levels program to advance Black executives. The nonprofit Executive Leadership Council has created a new program called Levels to assist junior and mid-level Black personnel in the music industry in better navigating their careers and climbing the music industry ladder. Levels is a 4-month comprehensive virtual cohort program sponsored by Spotify that aims to accelerate the advancement of Black music professionals to the executive level. The curriculum is intended for Black music professionals with 5 to 15 years of industry experience, such as sound technicians, studio managers, marketing specialists, brand managers, producers, and others. Each participant will be assigned an executive coach who has received International Coaching Federation certification, and these ICF certified coaches will help participants translate their levels, insights, and strategies into tactics and outcomes targeted to their specific work context, providing up to 8 hours of individual support. By the end of the program, participants will have developed a 5-year professional growth plan as well as promotion packages for their next two possibilities for advancement. And this program runs from September 1st through December 9th and is limited to 60 participants. And users you can apply using the link provided in the article. And the article's on Variety. And if you want, you can Google that, go to Variety Search, or you can go to musicindustrycity.com, click on today's date for the music show notes, and you can, the music news at noon, and you can get those links and go right there. I think this is wonderful what they're doing. I mean, to help, upstream to make this all happen, more diversity, upper management, CEOs, executive levels. The more diverse the upper management structure is, the better we all are. And with that, let's check in with Angela on what's going on over in the UK, because the CMA is proposing new regulations to better regulate Viagogo and the secondary ticketing market. This has been something that's been ongoing for a while. When many people in the U.S. wish there was much more regulation on secondary markets for the ticket scalpers. What's going on over there, Angela?
Thanks for that, Peter. To effectively control the secondary ticketing industry, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority has recommended that ticket resale platforms like Viagogo be licensed. As part of the 2015 Consumer Rights Act, the Competition Commission was one of two government organizations tasked with regulating internet ticket reselling. The CMA was responsible with verifying that resale marketplaces likewise conformed with the law. Seatwave and Get Me In, both owned by Live Nation, eventually shut down due to growing regulation and anti-touting attitude, in the music industry. The CMA has to take legal action to compel StubHub and Viagogo to alter their sites to comply with UK legislation. Anti-touting activists say that rules are constantly ignored, necessitating ongoing monitoring and regulation of touts and touting platforms. That would be easier to achieve, the CMA claims in a new report today. The regulator adds in a statement, whilst the bulk buying of tickets ahead of real fans by professional resellers, who then sell them at inflated prices, may be illegal, swift and effective action by authorities is not possible under the current law. Similar issues arise in relation to laws which prevent resellers advertising tickets using incorrect information or, quote, speculatively selling tickets that they don't own. As part of the CMA's proposed amendments, platforms will no longer be able to offer more tickets for an event than they can lawfully obtain from the primary market and will be held entirely liable for erroneous information on their websites. According to it, authorities may immediately shut down websites, suspend a company's license, and levy large fines if they violate the rules. Noting CMA's past legal action against Viagogo and its more recent ruling limiting the extent of Viagogo's merger with StubHub, Fanfare Alliance's campaign manager Adam Webb stated, quote, the CMA has a court order hanging over this company. Given Viagogo's wretched history of compliance and ongoing complications around their $4 billion merger with StubHub, it is now even more imperative that these allegations are investigated comprehensively and, if required, decisive enforcement action taken, end quote. As you said, Peter, we've covered the ongoing saga of Viagogo quite a bit in the news at noon. And one of the things they were under fire for earlier on was buying up tickets during pandemic reschedule shows. So gigs that had to be rescheduled and had released the new dates. Viagogo came under fire for purchasing up large quantities of them. At that stage, it wasn't necessarily regulated as illegal the way it is now because there were a number of loopholes, and as a result, are now sitting on a whole bunch of tickets for events that won't happen until 2022. When real fans were looking to potentially, buy tickets to those rescheduled dates or buy tickets to the tours that have been obviously rescheduled following their cancellations due to COVID. So I think this is just the right situation for the regulatory bodies to step in and to make it pretty clear that this type of thing isn't going to happen in regular times, and it certainly isn't going to happen when taking advantage of COVID times. So bravo to them. I'm really glad that it's something that they're keeping an eye on. And for those in the UK or purchasing tickets here, I can put in a word for a company called Twickets that's regularly used by real fans over here, where fans who need to sell on tickets that they've purchased and can no longer attend can post them on a safe site where people can purchase them through that third party, and they are at face value. So hopefully Viagogo is heading closer to just that sort of arrangement, and we'll still be able to make their money, but just not at the level that they have been by taking advantage of fans and the secondary market. We'll keep you up to date, of course. Back to you for now, Peter.
All right, thanks for that. Is Twickets the one that calls themselves ethical ticketing systems?
Yeah, more or less. Ed Sheeran became really famous when he was doing his Wembley shows a few years back by only saying that that tickets for resale would be available on Twickets, and every other resale option would be considered invalid. So Viagogo was completely cut out of it. StubHub and a handful of others were as well. So yeah, it gained a little traction then. And these days, a lot of people use them for festivals because it's so difficult to buy a festival ticket for face value. So people use it to change hands, and it's a good way to be protected. So glad somebody's working on it and regulating things before everything gets back to full swing.
Right on. All right. Thanks for that update. All right, we're going to stay over in Europe for just another moment. And this is from IQ Mag. 350 plus Dutch festivals join a protest saying, quote, "We will not be silenced." Following the vaccine announcement, the cabinet announced last Friday that the present limits on multi-day festivals with overnight stays will remain in place until September 19th in the Netherlands. In response, several well-known Dutch events have joined the, quote, "Unmute Us" campaign. While numerous supported festivals have been canceled due to government limitations, other huge events outside the music industry with hundreds of thousands of spectators have been allowed. A statement on the Unmute Us website reads, quote, "Elsewhere in society, there is room for full football stadiums and overcrowded fairgrounds, but safely organized events are not given any space. It is measured with two measures, with the message that Formula One in Zandvoort with 105,000 visitors per day can continue as an exception for the time being. It shows a total undermining and misjudgment of everyone who cares about culture and nightlife. It was the government working with Field Lab that conducted months of scientific research and experimental events to evaluate whether festivals could safely be organized. It was ultimately revealed that when following certain hygiene and testing protocols, the risk of COVID-19 infection at concerts and festivals is about the same as being at home. The statement also continues, quote, "We are sending out a clear signal to The Hague. It can no longer be done like this. We will not be silenced." The sector asks for a clear plan for the future with measurable agreements, but also for recognition of the emotional state of many visitors and makers who do not feel heard. "We want to be able to meet again, laugh and dance again. Above all, we want to be able to look ahead again." The Unmute Us protest will be held on August 21st across cities throughout the Netherlands. This is interesting because we were talking about this a little earlier in the morning show about some of these seating. It's more about the events that are being seated events, and that's why some of these concerts and they can require testing, they can group people, they can separate people. But here what they're saying is that there's even fairs, overcrowded fairgrounds. So there's no seating. So it's the music, the live music sector is being left out of every type of get together. And this has been going on for a while. We were talking about this last week, and where they were suing the government, the Dutch government, and now it's these protests, and it's starting to form. And we want everybody to be safe, but again, the question here is, why can 105,000 people get together for a day, each day for a Formula One event? And why can fairgrounds be crowded, but music festivals outdoors can't even have people? So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. And we just have a few more articles today. It's August. It's a little slower in the industry, so we get to focus on a couple different things here that you might not normally know about. And this one is Internet FM. Customizes online radio streaming app with new features. So if anybody uses Internet FM, there's one thing I just have to kind of pose a question about. So basically, I'll just give you the brief. Is the radio streaming app Internet FM released some updates to its Android and iOS versions with new customization options that add on-demand feeling to the app experience. Okay, so you got that out of the way if anybody uses this. But here's the thing: one of the things they can do is you can create a list of favorite artists and receive in-app notifications and direct links to stations that are playing them. And you can offer more detailed and personalized feedback besides the thumbs up and thumbs down, song preferences, and all this stuff. But I mean, Angela, I mean, you're our resident in-app, our in-house app person. If you put a notification on. I mean, we're sick of notifications in the first place, but hey, anytime I want to be alerted, anytime a Billie Eilish song is played, I mean, just think about how many notifications you will get. I mean, this is only really for those obscure artists that may be getting played once in a blue moon, which kind of would be interesting.
I mean, I can think of one use for this. I used to run an indie label myself, and if one of my artists were relatively small and I was doing all of my own PR, my own outreach, I would set that sort of thing up so that I'd know when they were getting radio play and know where to concentrate our interests to build it up from an industry standpoint. But from a user standpoint, it seems very odd because if I really want to listen to a song that badly, I'll just pull it up on Spotify. I don't know why I'd have to wait until somebody broadcast it on an internet radio station. But to each their own. Maybe people just like that. It sort of reminds me of the days in the 90s when we used to have to put a Memorex tape into the tape deck and sit all day listening to our favorite radio station, waiting for them to tell us in the next hour they're playing, Pearl Jam or Nirvana or whomever, so that we could press play and keep it for ourselves forever. But long gone are those days. I'm not quite seeing its benefits, but if someone knows, hit me up. I'm happy to try.
I remember being like, "No, Mom, I can't go to the store yet because they haven't played the song yet," and running out of blank cassette tapes, or you're putting a cassette tape in and just getting the 120 minutes, and you can have the double-sided recorder and just hit record, and set it and forget it, and when you come back home, hopefully, then you would have to go through the 2 hours of cassettes fast forwarding to see if you got the spot, and then you would have to get another cassette with your dual deck to just edit out everything and just record the song into your other master mix tape. Yeah, mixtape.
The struggle is real, kids. Yeah, and I'm a weirdo. I like strange music. So I used to record, the DJs that would spin music on the college radio station at 2 in the morning. So I'd just set it to record, turn it the volume all the way down, go to bed. And in the morning it was like this treasure trove of 2 hours of music I never would have heard otherwise. So yeah, who knows? It may have its benefits. Hit me up if you know them.
Right on. Well, let's continue talking about music and discovery. And this one is from Jambase, a vinylly dating app. Yes, we have a musical matchmaker. Finally, all those memes of "I only judge you by your musical taste" is coming to life as a standalone app. Vinylly is a dating app that matches people based on their musical taste. To locate matches, Vinylly considers a user's streaming music data as well as their music habits. Unlike other dating platforms, the process begins with users connecting their Spotify accounts to their profiles, which goes beyond the surface likes and potentially deceptive bios. So it connects users based on their streaming history, how they listen to music, and a few additional questions to complete the picture of the role music plays in their life. As the user streams more music, the algorithm responds and Vinylly produces new matches. That's not music matches, that's people matches. And users can also listen to recent tracks and playlists from their matches to find new music. And potential matches are connected based on proximity and other dating characteristics, in addition to musical interests. And keeping up with the platform's concept, profiles highlight a wide range of music-related subjects, from prior music purchases to concert behaviors. So, you always wanted to find out if you only want to date a fellow, Fish fan, or you want to date somebody that doesn't like, Billie Eilish, well, this is the app for you.
My husband and I could not have more different music tastes. So I think that some of us might find a slight loophole in this one, but I would definitely have liked to go on more dates with people who knew back in the day, who knew what I was talking about when I talked about some of the more obscure stuff. So I highly implore people to give this one a go, because I think it might open at least your expand your friendship group at the very least. Why not?
Well, I think it might be good for the extent. I mean, because so many of us have like those few musicians, those few bands, artists that only we listen to. It's like, kind of like that one we just kind of keep to ourselves, and we don't talk about it when we're dating or anything like that. And, it's like, oh, I got tickets for the show. 'Cause, you'll buy 2 tickets, and then, the person you're dating, or, somebody, even your friends, are like, who are you going to see? I have no idea. This might be a good way to, like, maybe they should turn this into more of a matchmaking app of saying, hey, I got tickets to this show. Would anybody want to join me on a date for this show? Because none of my friends are into this really, really obscure artist that nobody else knows. And, that might be a really interesting way to meet people.
Yeah, like gig buddy matchmaking, that would be terrific. I mean, I would definitely use it for that purpose. I mean, if you take the romance level out of it, then yeah, I'm in, because I've always get 2 tickets for the random, sitar playing EDM DJ jazz band guy who also plays djembe, and no nobody else likes that guy. So I end up either going on my own or dragging my long suffering husband. So yeah, I think they missed a trick with this. They should just launch it out for gig buddy finding. I can't be alone in that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to see Rick Wakeman in
Okay,
October.
I would definitely go with you. I would
Yeah.
definitely go with you to that.
Yeah, Rick Wakeman in October, exactly. But like trying to explain to any of my friends that don't know who Rick Wakeman is, well, he's one of the greatest keyboardists of all time, yes, and a million other things. But yeah, I mean, trying to explain, it's like, I have no idea who would want to go with me to see this in Huntington. It's not even like in the city. It's on Long Island. It's like, it's an obscure place with, so he's total niche. I mean, this is one of those, do I scalp the ticket on Viagogo for 5 times the cost? And with that, let's move on to our final headline of the day. Dogecoin. All right. Yes, Dogecoin Music Festival, Dojapalooza, to be held on October 9th. Yes, there is going to be a Dojapalooza. And if you're looking at this in the video live stream, this is probably the greatest flyer festival logo ever. It's got the dog. It just looks awesome. So the first official Dogecoin festival, called Dojapalooza, will take place in October. And the essence of the event is to entertain the community, as well provide more information on how cryptocurrency can be used in real life. The site reads, quote, specially designed as an innovative, fun way to bring the Doge community together to share their passion and love for Dogecoin. We will be giving back to the community by supporting and donating to both local and national charities. The Dojapalooza website states that the community-run festival will take place in many cities and countries around the world, and the very first event is scheduled for October 9th of this year in the city of Sugar Land, Texas. At the moment, several famous people have already confirmed their presence and participation in the festival, including legendary singer Dionne Warwick, Grammy winner Damon Elliott, and classic piano player Chloe Flower will be at the event on October 9th. In addition to live music, all Dojapalooza members will have access to snacks, drinks, and a product fair. It will also include an educational event to learn more about how to use Dogecoin. And in a tweet when they posted it, Elon Musk just simply replied it looks kind of fun. Who's going? Who's with me? Or
I think you should put that on your vinily matchmaking but gig buddy finder and see who's going to Dogecoin.
who's going to judge? Who wants to see Dionne Warwick? The psychic lady. And they said it's supposed to have fun. I'm like, that's great. I mean, and that's part of the community aspect. I mean, to have Dionne Warwick there, I think that's worth it right there. Anybody else following Dogecoin? Anybody invest in that? Come on up. And if there's anything you wanted to comment on, feel free to join the stage. I know some comments in the video chat stream, but if there's anything you wanted to talk about, we'll put a few minutes back on the clock here before we wrap up for the day. But feel free to raise your hand, join the stage if there's anything you wanted to talk about, or is there something we missed and you wanted to bring to the attention, or you just wanted to say hi. Feel free to join the stage. Angela, what stuck out for you today?
I'm pressing my button and it just wouldn't connect me. Oh goodness, all kinds of technical difficulties on a Monday for sure. I think one of the things that stuck out for me was the Dutch festivals pushing back. I think it's great when people use the power of their voices to fight back and say, you know what, we're not going to take this just because we're not a sporting event or a government issued event doesn't mean that we're not important. So if there's one thing that this pandemic has taught us all, is about the value of community and working together to make our voices heard. So good on them.
Right on. All right. Thanks for that. All right. We're going to wrap up for today. That's going to be it. And, make sure to check out musicindustrycity.com. We post all of the articles every day before the news. We post an article up, the music news at noon with today's date and what the headlines that we're going to be covering, so you can see all those links curated for you. And also, we do our 3-minute music news daily brief. It is a little slow. The next 2 weeks are going to be a little slow because there's really not a lot of news going on. Well, after Labor Day, holy cow, we're going to be back in full swing for the rest of the year. So we're going to be taking a week off at the end of August here, a well-deserved break for everybody. But check out and sign up at musicindustrycity.com. We have big announcement coming up with some things that are rolling out, some big news with musicindustrycity.com, going to be in October. So make sure to sign up. You can register for free. It takes about 2 seconds or maybe 4 seconds if you're on a PC. But besides that, have a great week, everybody. Well, have a great day, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Have a good one. Take care, Angela.
Cheerio. Thanks, Peter. Take care, everybody. Bye.